Hey folks, back with another vlog. This is season 2, episodes 21 and 22, I think, maybe? And I'm blanking now on what the first one was called, but the second one was, something about rain. Yeah, I'm totally blanking on the episode titles. But who cares, because holy crap what happened in these episodes. For starters, 2 apparently filler episodes from, well, filler's a strong term that I prefer not to use. 2 episodes that were more character than plot from the first season are now revealed to have actually been foreshadowing. I'm referring, of course, to Monster Buddy and Garnet's Dream? Is that what it was called? Monster Buddy is the more obvious one. That's the episode where the whole plot of the episode was Steven befriends an enemy gem and makes it his friend and they get along. Until things go south because of the other gems. I'm hoping we don't get a repeat of that part. But that's essentially what happened in this 2-parter is, and I'm treating it as a 2-parter. It's effective. I mean, the one picks up right where the other left off with Peridot in the bathroom. That's effectively what happens here. Is Steven, frees Peridot and befriends her, and now she's more or less tentatively part of the team. The other one, Garnet's Dream or whatever it was called, is a subtler reference. There was a character in that episode that resembled Frog from Chrono Trigger. And now we find out the cluster is basically Lavos, the last boss of Chrono Trigger. A creature which burrowed deep into the earth and is incubating in the core and will bring about the apocalypse when it wakes and emerges. There's some great little detail here with the cluster. There's the fact that some models of the interior of the earth created by geologists suggest that the core may actually be a gigantic gemstone. The theory is that the pressure down there is so high that rather than the previously believed big sphere of super condensed molten rock, the pressure may actually be high enough to condense it into a form of gemstone even at those temperatures. So that's cool, and I wonder, I suspect that the creators may have been aware of that and included that in their, that may have helped inspire the cluster. There's some great terminology. When Peridot referred to it as a geoweapon, I thought that was great because, of course, a weapon that causes earthquakes and volcanic eruptions and burrows down deep into the earth. Yeah, geoweapon is a great term for that. But also, that would be the gem word for bioweapon, wouldn't it? Bioweapon would be weapons, that utilize biological beings, weaponized bacteria, that kind of thing. A geoweapon would be weaponized living rock, like the cluster. It's led me to question all sorts of things, like some of the early episode, like the first season monsters, were some or all of them like the same things, these gem mutants. There does seem to be some distinction between gem monsters and gem mutants, but how much of a distinction really is there? What really is the distinction? Most of the monsters did not seem to be assembled out of, body parts. Again, there's something so freaky about things that have arms and legs where their heads should be. Like, I don't know why that is such a viscerally unsettling image for me, but it really is. Or things that are shaped like hands made out of arms and legs instead of fingers. Like, several of the Gem Mutants have looked like that in multiple episodes, and those are freaky. But yeah, mostly this was about Peridot, really. And I really enjoy her. I love the reveal that she's actually, like, Steven-sized and was using, equipment that made her look taller. I am concerned that that equipment will come back in some form. I can see a few different ways that could go. They go looking for it because, Peridot needs it to help them, and end up encountering, what's the Jasper and Lapis fusion called? Whatever that's called. They end up encountering that. Or those, the other way around, those somehow interact with the Lapis fusion and Lapis Jasper fusion, and something bad happens and it comes for them. A few different possibilities. What else? I love that Peridot keeps calling them clods. It occurred to me while watching these episodes that a clod is a loose lump of earth, which is to say it's a failed rock. It's like, it's made of the same stuff as a rock, but it has no internal force. It's been subjected to no pressure, and so it comes apart easily. It's the she's essentially the person coming from a fascist regime or a totalitarian regime and talking about, the degenerate, decadent lifestyles of, the people from the free society. I cannot help but imagine that that's how Homeworld sees the Crystal Gems, as being these, she at one point tries to distract them with, look, another planet to betray. Clearly they are not liked, which is utterly unsurprising. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if they are thought of as being traitors, obviously, but specifically traitors against discipline and order. They're, like I was saying, decadent. They're self-indulgent. They're, wanting to be, they're wanting all these, freedoms that shouldn't be allowed to them because they're wrong, like being able to fuse. Which, again, clearly something, there's definitely been hints that that's something that Homeworld doesn't like, or at least that anti-fusion prejudice of some sort exists. The fact that in the extended version of the opening, Garnet refers to Earth as a place where she can be free to be together and herself, definitely suggests that, she would not be allowed to exist on Homeworld. What else? I like that Steven, like in his morning bathroom routine, I found it very amusing that he polished his gem. It was kind of of course he does that. But it's also very funny that he does that and kind of adorable. I think Peridot will be more interesting as the, villain forced to work with the heroes out of common interest of averting disaster. I think she'll be more interesting in that role than she was as the, kind of comical Skeletor-esque failure villain. I'm definitely looking forward to some of that. At least that's what I assume her role will be in the next few episodes. And yeah. I don't know that I have that much more to say about these. They were a lot of fun. Definitely full of warning for the future. No, I already made that point. I find it interesting that the homeworld is, anti-fusion, but totally willing to use that to make weapons. That's typical of the kind of regime I'm getting the impression that Homeworld is. Oh, yes. Well, there's a line from Peridot. When it became... I may not be quoting exactly, but I'm going to try to get as close as I can. When it became clear that Earth wouldn't work as a gem colony world, they decided to use it for geoweapon testing. And that says volumes, Oh, we can't colonize you, we'll just destroy you to test our weapons. That's a very, colonialist kind of an attitude. It's the I see it, I want it, therefore it's mine 2-year-old mentality, which, honestly, world history makes a lot of sense if you just assume that all nations are essentially big, angry 2-year-olds. Big, angry, selfish 2-year-olds. I want it, I can see it, therefore it's mine, is both typical 2-year-old behavior and typical behavior of imperial, colonialist, whatever you want to call them, powers. And it's very much the gem homeworld. So, this is clearly something that can be sustained for quite a long time. Because even after they, inevitably resolve the cluster, there's going to be some other threat from Homeworld, because Homeworld has near infinite resources relative to Earth. It's an interstellar empire. Therefore, it must have resources that are essentially unimaginable to a civilization bound to one planet, let alone a small town. Because they've got all of space to draw resources from. And, yeah, they can build weapons to casually destroy planets. So Homeworld can just keep sending stuff after them, but at the same time, Homeworld will continually underestimate them, and so they will, and because of the kind of story it is, they'll continually rise to the challenge and find ways to overcome whatever Homeworld is sending after them. Which means we can get season after season of that. And as long as we get good, solid characterization and continuing humor, which was one thing these 2 episodes did really well, is that despite being action-heavy and plot-heavy and kind of ominous, there was some great humor. I think my favorite was, quick, go in that corner! Oh no, we're cornered! That was great. Also good were the scenes, at the end of, I think it was at the end of the first part, where, oh no, it was after Steven released Peridot in the first part, when she starts, like, slap fighting him. That was a fun and funny scene. And then, in the second part, I think it was. No, it was the first part where the end of the first part where he comes into the bathroom and, you know, she's like, is that a weapon? Is that a weapon? Is that a weapon? You know, because she's hyper cautious and, I mean, it makes sense. She's alone. She's the sole survivor, essentially, of the ship which came to Earth. She's unable to contact her people. She's stranded on an alien planet to which her people are hostile, and the only members of her species on the planet are her enemies, who have been chasing her all over the planet. She's scared. And so, and she doesn't understand anything about the planet or its culture or what any of these things are, so it's only natural that she'd ask if they're weapons. Interesting that, like Jasper, Peridot doesn't know what Steven is. Jasper thought it was just rose quartz in a funny form. Peridot also thinks that he's some kind of quartz, which leads me to believe that quartzes typically generate shields and have healing powers, probably. And she's kind of fascinated but horrified by the idea of him as a hybrid between gem and human. This suggests to me that either Homeworld doesn't know that Steven is a hybrid, or they know, like the higher-ups know, but it's not common knowledge. Either way, given that Steven's, you know, like I was talking about with Jailbreak, Steven's human powers enable him to resist force fields and weapons that are designed to work on gems. That could continue to be an advantage for a while. Other than that, Steven and Peridot made a great duo. It'd be interesting to see if they, you know, use the next few episodes to have her pair up with each of the other characters, because that's often a good way of kind of bringing in a new character. I'm curious if she's like a permanent member of the team, or if she's going to betray them, or possibly even get killed off, or imprisoned, or something. Or if she's going to be a permanent member of the team going forward. I don't really know. It'll be interesting to see. So that's about it. I'm going to go watch some more. Bye.